Hey, where's Jerry? I'm over here. What are you doing over there? I'm afraid. Jerry, why are you afraid? Well, there's a virus, and there's lootings, and the economy, and it's hot outside too. Jerry, why are you really afraid? Well, I guess I haven't been keeping my eyes on God. I hope you'll allow me that little bit of drama. Dear friends, I feel like I get a chance to at least say hi and talk to you, if not face to face. Greetings from the man cave in Kingman. And I was just thinking about things last night. It's interesting how sometimes God will wake us up and remind us of things. So I was thinking about 2 Samuel 17 and Goliath. And the Israelites were, in verse 11 of 2 Samuel 17, it says that Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Well, what am I trying to say? Here's Goliath to them, this guy 9 or maybe even taller than 9 feet tall, big armor, great big sword, huge shield, big spear. What do we got going on right now? Yeah, the virus, other stuff happening. For them, at that point in that circumstance, they were terrified and dismayed. Why? All they saw was their problem. This is a very common thing for Christians to do all the time. We get our eyes on the problem and off of God. And I just love David. David says to Saul after he sees Goliath, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." You can almost see Saul being like, "Get serious." And yet David says, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it. I struck it and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it and killed it." We are too much like the Israelites, hiding behind the rock. Now, I'm not saying go out there and do everything. We've had pandemics in the past. If you look up the 1918-1919 Spanish flu, it was terrible. Many more people were killed, died. So I'm not saying be foolish, but I'm saying, brothers and sisters, this is not a time for us to hide behind the rocks. This is time for us to proclaim the gospel as best as we can. You know what? Are people going to take a tract from you? Probably not. Unless you can somehow say, this was sanitized. We need to be about God's business, even in the worst of times. This is when we need to shine. This is when we need to be so close to God that we can be like David. And I love this. This is from Psalm 27. "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Hate it when that happens. It wasn't Idella, so it's okay. Whom shall I be afraid? When evil men advance against me to devour my flesh. When my enemies and my foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then will I be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple." Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Dear brothers and sisters, we are seeing right now just how much disinformation is out there and how much the media wants to portray things and try to get, ratings. That's what they're after. I'm not watching the news anymore. I am keeping my eyes on God. I'm devoting myself to prayer and to studying the Word. And I think you should do the same. I want to get back to church. I miss that. I feel like this is a plan of the evil one to make us weak. We need to make it into an opportunity for us to be strong. We cannot allow the enemy to say, well, they're not going to church right now, so we're going to attack them, and we're going to get after them, and we're going to make them soft. We're going to get the soft underbelly. Brothers and sisters, this is when we need to draw closer to God. Who is our strength? Who is our ever-present help in times of trouble? It's the Lord. This is no time to crouch behind a rock in fear. This is a time to boldly seek the Lord. I'm praying that God would bring revival. I'm praying that God would help us to be a part of what He's doing in this world. Don't be afraid, okay? Trust the Lord. Hey, I wear a mask when I go out. I use hand sanitizer a whole lot. I have big hands. And yet, at the same time, my hope is not in those things, but my hope is in the Lord. And God willing, we're going to all get through this sooner rather than later. And yet, this is not just us to limp along and sort of just get through this and I'm just going to sort of like hunker down and not worry. I try not to worry. I'll just, this is a time for us to say, God, you made everything. I know you're in charge. Lord, help me to align myself with you. Help me to be after what you want me to be doing. Brothers and sisters, prayer obviously is one of those greatest things. Stay in the Word and stay in prayer and don't give in to fear.